Today is the Swiss National Day. Today is the Swiss National Day. And that's why I decided today to talk about my own personal experience about living in Switzerland. Let me know in the comments how many of you ever moved to another country. Type one in the comments. Or how many of you spent a few months in another country? Let me know that as well. Then type two in the comments. Yes, so Switzerland, how I'm grateful to be living in Switzerland. And yesterday, when I went to bed, I heard the Swiss celebrating their country. And it's a beautiful thing because normally it's very quiet in the evening. At some point, there's no people on the street. At some point, in this country, um, yeah, people take time to be at home and to take time to themselves and to have the quality time with their friends and family. So where do I live? I live 10 kilometers outside of Zurich, and I am surrounded by greenery. Greenery, yet, I mean, nature. It's not greenery, it's not recreated, it is green. We live next to a forest. I just walk for 5 minutes and I'm in a forest. I have a view to the mountains, and I cannot see the Alps from here. I cannot see the Lake of Zurich from here. What I do see is trees and another set of mountains. So I didn't grow up in a country with mountains. The country that I grew up in is called Belgium. It's where I live now and where I used to live. It's 760 kilometers away. And on the global map, that is literally nothing. Yet, in the beginning, I was astonished by the difference of culture by being in this country. So, let me share with you Happy National Swiss Day. And this is why I pulled on something red today. And yeah, so no Swiss flag here. So, it's the red flag and a white cross. The white cross is, in the middle, and the white cross is how do you say, you can move it or mirror it any way you want. It's going to be exactly the same cross every projection you do. You must have known that flag because when you're very aware, when you're in other countries, they put this flag on products to make you how do you say, to give you a sense of that the product is more qualified than others. So when I used to be in Mexico, I was, mm, you know, somebody told me that even though the product has nothing to do with Switzerland, they put this flag on their products or a sign or whatever to intrinsically make people choose that their product must be better than the other one. And that has literally nothing to do with it. So, okay, so Switzerland stands for quality. And that's my experience as well. It does. In the beginning, when I came to live here, I was astonished. I felt astonished by the difference in the quality of life. And I decided to share it with the people where I visited during my holidays, right? So I went to Belgium during the holidays, yes, to visit my family and to visit friends. And I tried to explain that, and then people were not able to understand because they say, yes, we have all quality here as well, which, of course, when you grew up there and when you look globally, yes, of course, you have a level of quality. Then again, there is still a big gap when you're living in this quality. Now, where does this quality come from? Well, Swiss people or the Swiss or Switzerland has high standards when it comes to quality. So one of my friends, she was working in the pharmaceutical industry for her whole life. And she shared that there's a pharmaceutical meeting every day to, put prices and to see, okay, what is it that we are going to charge this year. And so they also had this discussion going on that when they have to enter the Europe, like the European market, and to have their products on the European market, they had to lower their standards. And then they still had to lower their standards again to be a part of that European market. So another thing that I got to understand from the Swiss market is that what I took some notes here. Ah, yeah. So what I wasn't aware of, that in Switzerland nothing is subsidized. So in other countries, you have a very high tax rate. And why is the tax rate so high? Because the government decides for you where they put their money. And then to cover those costs, they have to, ask you more taxes. Now in Switzerland, that's not the way how it works. In Switzerland, they say, this is the price. This is what you have to pay. If you have to rely up, if you have to rely upon that service, you have to pay for it. Yet everybody is free to do what they want and where they put their money. So what does that mean? Let me give you an example. So if you have children, and if you have need of daycare, then of course you go and ask for the help, and then you have to pay. Now those ranges are much higher than in another country because you pay for it yourself. It's not that the whole social or the middle class is paying for that, and then you have a lower price, and that's why the taxes are high. So if you need daycare, then you have to pay for it yourself. So tax rates are rather low. Okay, so other countries it's 35%, 45%. Here in Switzerland is 8%. Yet whatever you need, you pay for it. The real price. This is why the real price of 1 kilogram of meat, like processed in the way that it needs to be processed, right? With all quality and with all regulations, it costs about 85 euro a kilogram. Now go and check the prices in your country and see what a cost is. Okay. So, and when it's a lot cheaper, your country has subsidized that price. Okay. So this is why in Germany, food is a lot cheaper because Germany subsidizes food. Okay. So in Belgium as well, or at least meat. Okay. Also milk. So you have to be aware that there's reasons why specific things in your country are a specific way. And of course, I only got to understand those when I moved outside of my country and was confronted with different situations. And I had to go and look for the deeper meaning why this was the case. It allowed me to see a lot of things that I was not able to see or I wasn't aware when I was living in my original country. Okay, so yes, Switzerland is a country. What's the word again? Because I didn't write it on my list. And mm, I really have to think about the words. Mm, it will come back. So let me talk about another reason why I appreciate living in Switzerland so much. Because the school system. The school system is set up in a way that your child has more than 6 ways to reconnect to a journey that will bring them to where they need to be. So you have experienced yourself as well, for your children or for yourself, that your maturity when it comes to focus on a job or deciding where you want to go in life based on the schooling system, that your head was not there, your maturity was not there, or you simply needed more time to get to understand what was your focus or what you desire to do. Now, here in Switzerland, they have so many ways that when you get to the maturity, or when you get to the work ethics, or when you get to the clarity that you need, you have ways to reconnect where you are to the journey where you decide to be. So it's also a very big part, is also very practical. Children are given opportunities, youth are given opportunities to literally find your own ways. And they also focus a lot on practical experience. Because I know when I um, I got my degree from university, I knew I only had theoretical knowledge. And even though I was doing internship for 2 years, I got to understand that, wait a minute, if I have to carry 10 years of responsibility by being an architect, I studied for engineering architect, so I wanted to have my ways open for the market and to have that career and to step up, you know, because that was my conditioning. So I got to understand, hey, wait a minute, my knowledge is only theoretical. That's why I decided to work at a general contractor. At least then I would learn after all these years of study how to build and how you build and how you can tell somebody, yes, it's well done or not. And yes, I can take responsibility for that. Okay, so this is what they help you with. You can stand on your both feet when you are doing a job, and experience is valued a lot as well. So you don't have to get the degree. By experience, you can come to the same level. How important is that? You're given chances. So this is what I truly love about Switzerland, because I was able to be very focused and study. I know how to study by heart. So that's what the school system does. You just have to reproduce. Now at university, I had to learn how to think properly, right? So properly in the sense of logically. Thinking properly is what you learn with my programs, okay? Because I got to understand that you're not taught how to think in university. You're not taught how to think in our society. You get to do that when you go into self-development, proper self-development, okay? So another reason why I'm extremely grateful to be living in Switzerland is the way how they treat you, the rules, okay? So you get to live here when you apply the rules. And I got to understand, so far, I didn't find any back doors open. There's many countries where there's rules and they're set up in a way with a lot of back doors. So people look for the back doors, right? Here in Switzerland, I got to understand these are the rules, you apply them, right? That's it. And it's for everybody the same. So you have openness to have a discussion about something, even though they have a different idea or a different mm, meaning, or how things work. At a specific level, they will have time for you to listen to it, and it's not that there is no openness for agreement. The Swiss, they had to agree. All right, because they're in the middle of Europe. They had to agree. They're not part of Europe. And I think it's a good thing that Switzerland is not part of Europe. Yes, it is. Because of the, how do you say, because of the level of standard, the level of quality they have for themselves, they're not going to lower their value to be part of your life. No, you have to raise your standards to be part of their life. And literally, this is what I adore about Switzerland. So, way to go, Switzerland. This is very, very, very good. Okay. So, Yes, let me see. Ah, yeah. Another thing, Switzerland is a country of Vereine, of organizations. So you can engage yourself at a very high level. There's organizations on all topics, organizations on all areas of life, and they come together and they bring their energy, their insights, for the good cause. How can we improve parts in our country? How can we improve living in this country? How can we improve with our contribution? And you get to contribute that um, voluntarily. And you also can set up an official organization. You can also turn it into an organization that is paid. And there's so many reasons how you can engage. And for me, this was my, I got to understand that very early. So I engaged and I get to be in a board of the Dorfverein Gattegon. And this is how I literally got to understand the language. And I really love the Swiss language because it's singing, it's a fun way of speaking German. I know it's a challenge for many people who get to live here and learn the language. Then again, it comes down to specific rules, how to understand what they do with their words. So you get to pick up and you literally have to really focus to learn that language. And one time I was at my doctor's for my children, yeah, doctor, podiatrist, yes. And he wanted to practice his English. And I was like, no, I am practicing my German. I'm the customer here. I speak German to you, and I desire to have my answer in German. So I kept on doing that. And also with people who lived here for 15 years and they were English speakers, I talked to them in German because I needed to practice. So I was very focused to do that. And so even if they hear you're not from here, you can always say, look, I'm really looking forward to practice my German. So let me do that. All right. So engage, set up friendships, have an art to discuss, be open for new things. And another big plus in this country is for me nature, quality of life, um, quality of food. I'm very concerned about the quality of the food, the pesticides they use to grow your food. Food doesn't get the time anymore to, to really grow into the quality it used to be like 100 years ago, right? So they cut down the time for food to grow. So this is why we have all these allergic reactions because it didn't get the time. All right. So what I'm focused on is bio and organic food. And if you compare the Swiss rules for bio, it is like very high standard. And if you compare it to European bio, when you look, you have to look bio as a circular thing. Like you have environment, you have quality of food, you have vitamins, you have quality of the nature, you have the treatment of the nature, you have how much stuff is waste to produce your food, the whole circle, the whole chain to produce your food. If you look at those rules, if you look at those percentages that is respected by Swiss bio, it's extremely high. And you know, if you understand the quality, if you eat the quality that you need, you're able to support your health in such a way that you get to live, you have a long quality of life, right? So when you're able to understand this and when you're able to really, so this is why I love Naturaplan, my shout out to Naturaplan. And this is why Migro, right? You have Coop and Migro, and Naturaplan is part of Coop, and they have Swiss rules. And for Migro, It is European rules because they have their head um, department in Germany, so they can apply European rules for the bio. So you cannot compare those prices. So there is a difference in price, of course, then you know what you pay for, right? So the loyalty of quality of life is what I truly love about Switzerland. And there's many, many, many other rules. So many other things for me. If Switzerland gave me my freedom, I really got to mm, disconnect from the culture where I grew up in, and really had time to focus on me, to really, develop me the way I am. And, given my children so many more possibilities to grow up in a system that allows them to be child a bit longer instead of being, going to school too early or very early, like 2.5 years, and here it's rather 4.5 years. So it's a challenge for the parents, of course. Then again, it's your child that has the benefit, right? So I see that I've been talking already for more than 20 minutes. So if you want to know more about Switzerland, then let me know, because I get very passionate about it. And yeah, I'm open to receive questions. I'm open to answer them. And I'm very interested to hear your own experience. Do you live in Switzerland? Do you live somewhere else? Do you have the same experiences as I have had by getting out of your culture and moving somewhere else? What were your experiences? Let me know in the comments. I'm super excited to hear, because living in another country just opens up so many patterns that you're not aware of, so many other possibilities, so many opportunities. Your growth is just out there, right? And hi, Adrian, you love Switzerland as well. Yes, you want to know more about Switzerland? Cool. Then I'm open to do a second video about this. And yeah, I never talk about this actually. And yeah, because it's my environment, and thanks to the National Day, I do, right? So yes, talk to you very soon. Have a wonderful day. And yay, happy celebrations for Switzerland, of course. Of course, the shops are closed. I was in Belgium during the holidays, and the 21st of July, it's their national day, and the shops were open, right? So it's, yeah, that's the quality of life for the people working. And so, yes, you can click the bell sign so you get notified every time a new video comes out. If you want to share this with other people, there's many topics I didn't talk about as well. Share this with friends and family, of which hey, they love Switzerland, or they moved to another country. Let me share that with them. Comment below what your experiences are. Yes, and support us to like this, and to share it so more people get to see this video and get to know this community, get to know what I stand for. My name is Sige Nagels. I am a transformational mentor. You can also call me a life coach, and I help you to get connected more with your greatest self, so you get to live your personal freedom and get to become your true self. Talk to you very soon. Mwah. Bye bye.